Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. Thanks for having me again. Like Tara said, we've been friends for a long time. We actually met quite a while ago when we first were getting started in business together. And we've been doing this thing for a long time. You know what they say, time flies when you're having fun. And that is so true. When you're doing what you love, time definitely flies. Like Tara said, I own an art gallery. It's called Overdue Recognition Art Gallery in Bowie, Maryland. And hopefully that will explain my colorful presentation tonight. People ask me all the time, how did I go from, owning an art gallery, being a curator, being a gallerist, to writing a book about business credit? So I'm going to share my screen so we can get started, and I'll be able to explain all of that. Let's see.
And while you're doing that, Jackie, for those of you that do have a business, I did mention that we do networking workshops. We do them the first week of every month. It's a great opportunity and a great platform for you guys. Please check out our website. It's just giving you an opportunity to meet other minority businesses and network and make connections. So I just want to encourage you guys to participate in our upcoming networking workshop.
Whoops. All right. So definitely need to go to networking events. That's very important. So let's talk business credit. So this is my colorful presentation that I've created for you guys. My business means everything to me. It's what gets my blood pumping and gets me jumping out of bed in the morning. And as a new business owner, I quickly realized that I needed to spend money to make money. The
Wait a minute,
challenge was
Jackie.
always,
I can't see your presentation.
okay.
I still see it looks like it's not open on my end.
Okay, wait a minute.
Can anyone else see it? Okay, there it is.
Oh, okay.
I see it.
I'll start over a little bit. This is my colorful presentation. So let's talk about business credit. My business is what means everything to me. It's what gets my blood pumping and has me jumping out of bed in the morning. And as a new business owner, I quickly realized that I had to spend money to make money. The challenge always was for me to find the money that I needed to spend. And when self-financing wasn't enough, I realized I needed business credit. So my first tip to you guys tonight, and I'll probably mention this several times over and over again, is that start business credit early. I really, really wish I would have. I probably would be so much further along in my business if I would have started it early. So that is probably my tip that you'll hear me say over and over again, is to start your business credit early. So again, after years of research, trial and error, learning everything there is about creditors and lenders and how they do business, I wanted everyone to know what I learned and what you can avoid to avoid the mistakes that I made. And so I decided to write this book. And that's how I went from becoming just an art gallery owner to established and learning about business credit and able to teach others about it. I would rather work 80 hours for myself than 40 hours for someone else. Throughout this presentation, I have wrote down several of my favorite entrepreneur quotes. All entrepreneurs have aspirations and goals. Your dream will require investment of your energy and funding for them to come true. Again, in order to make money, you have to spend money. And at a bare minimum, you're going to need office supplies. You're going to need marketing supplies, computers, and definitely a savings account for backup. Business credit is a financial resource your business will need. So there are so many so much misinformation out there and myths about business credit. So first, I wanted to give you some factual statistics about business credit. 40%, can you all see the other side? Because is it just me? The whole presentation slide? Tara, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so you can't see it?
We can see both sides, yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay. 40% of all businesses surveyed by the SBA claim that they were not able to receive the funding they need. That's 1.5 in 4 businesses that are impacted by the lack of funding, preventing them from growing their business. According to MasterCard, 40% of all businesses use personal credit cards. That's a bad one. This means that businesses are not separating their personal expenses from their business expenses, and this is a huge no-no. Another fact, according to the SBA, 30% of all small business loans are denied due to business credit. How sad is that? And this is another reason I wanted to write this book, hoping to help other people get the funding that they need, especially in our community. The NAV American Dream Act survey in 2019 revealed that 45% did not know they had a business credit score. 72% did not know where to find that information on their business credit score, and 82% didn't know how to interpret that score. When I learned this, I remember calling all of my entrepreneur friends and colleagues that all had businesses and confirmed how true the statistic really is. The Cater Advisory Group research finds that small business credit cards account for $430 billion in spending. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but when there are 28 million small businesses in the United States, it's really a sad statistic, which means it means that there are not enough small businesses positioned for success. Now, this last fact is the best fact of all. In order for lending companies to make money, they have to lend money. And that is a fact. The banks want to lend money. That's what they're in business for. We just need to make sure your business is the right business, and we have to make sure it looks like the right business with business credit. And that's what business credit can do. I just realized my phone was on. I was like, let me turn it off real quick. Okay. So now we're going to talk about what is business credit. Most of you may already have some knowledge of what business credit is. It's very similar to personal credit in many ways, but it's very different also in many ways. So if you're familiar with personal credit, it's like your mortgage and your car note. But with a business credit score, you're not using your social security number at all. It's a separate score than what your personal score is. Like your personal score, the credit numbers run from what, 400 or 500 to 800. With a business credit score, that number runs from 0 to 100. And of course, the higher that score is, just like your personal score, the lower your lending risk, the better you look for a bank or lender to lend you money, the lower your interest rate is, right? Whether you're a seasoned business owner or a startup, you should start building business credit as early as possible. The number one business credit benefit of business credit, at least for me, is that the approval limits are much higher. I saw a lot of different businesses in the chat. No matter what type of business you have, the approval levels will be higher because they know you need to buy trucks, you need to get a brick and mortar. They know you need supplies and computers and things like that. So they know that to give you higher credit limits than you would get with your personal credit. That's the number one benefit for me. The biggest mistake a small business can make is to think like a small business. Let me read that again. The biggest mistake a small business can make is to think like a small business. Statistics show that all small businesses fail within 2 years, not because they have not because of their business knowledge or because they lack passion. They fail because of their inability to think like a big business. Having business credit is thinking like a big business. So let's get to the 10 steps. This book is made for, broke it down into 10 steps. So I'm going to go through each step. It's very important that you follow the steps in order. Some of you may be further along, like some of you may have already started establishing an entity and things like that. So pick up where you left off, but never jump ahead or move ahead, because the steps are definitely in order for a reason. Even if you believe you have enough capital, you never know an opportunity could come along that you will already need to be prepared for. So that's what big businesses can help with. Or let's say a pandemic comes along like it did, and you'll need cash flow to help you while you're closed for several months. Business credit is always a safety net for your business. So let's start with the 10 steps. Step one, we're going to start in step one. Step 1 through 3 is actually building a foundation. Step 1 is establishing that strong business foundation that every business will need to become powerful. Remember, we want to make your business look safe for the lender to loan you money. So in step 1, we're going to start with your business name. Your business name is the first thing a lender sees when they look at your application. You want to make sure it's the same on everything. I'm talking about your corporation papers, all of your licenses, on your bank statements. Your business name should be the same on everything across the board. So when the lender goes to look at that, he will know who you are. The next thing is your business address. This can be tricky because there's only really 4 places that you can use for a business address. It can be your home address. It can be an office space. It can be a brick and mortar space, or a virtual office even, but never ever use a PO box or UPS store. You can definitely be denied for lending if you're using one of those, because banks and lenders don't believe that you're not established enough if you're using a PO box number. So always use one of those 4 places: your home, an office space, a virtual office, or even a retail space is good. So your internet presence. You have to have a website. Believe me, lenders are going to look for you. Make it easy for them to find you. Have a website. Have the website in your business name. Also, social networking. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever you're using for your social presence, make sure that's separated from your personal Instagram. You have to separate those. They don't want to go onto, they're going to look for you. They don't want to go on there and see you're having an argument with your spouse. They don't want to see your beautiful grandkids or whatever it is. Separate everything. That social media should be just about your business. So when they go to look for you, they know that you're talking about your business, you're an expert in your business, and that's going to help them approve your loan. And believe me, like I said before, they will deny for any little thing. So these are very important steps to building a strong foundation. So the next thing on step 1 to do is your email address. Your email address should be used for anything that's on your lending applications. And it's almost impossible nowadays to run a business without an email address. But the key is that you want that email address to be at your business. Like for example, for the gallery, my gallery's email address, it's Jackie@overduerecognition.com. You don't want it to be at Yahoo or at Google. You want it to be at your company's name. So it doesn't say overdue recognition at yahoo.com. It should be in your business name. And same with your phone number, your business phone number. You want that to come up as your name. When you call Verizon or whoever your provider is for your business phone number, you want it to be a business listing. And this is all in step 1 that you need to work on to start building your strong foundation. So step 2, we're going to move on to step 2. We're going to incorporate your business. I cannot stress enough that everything matters when building business credit, right? So your entity is the first thing. You're going to establish a business entity. A sole proprietor is the most susceptible to risk, and sometimes can be denied by lending institutions, especially the smaller lending institutions. I would research LLCs, C Corps, S Corps to find out which entity is best for your business. The next step would be to get your tax ID number. Your tax ID, or some people call it an EIN number, they're interchangeable, is the same equivalent as to your personal social security number. And you're going to need this to apply for credit. So get your tax ID number. You can, no matter what state you're in, you can go right to establish a tax ID no matter where you are in your state, and you should be able to get one. It doesn't take long. They'll mail it to you and you will get it. Like I said, without your EIN number or your tax ID number, you cannot apply for business credit. So the next thing we're going to do in step 2 to incorporate your business is we're going to register with Dun & Bradstreet. If you haven't heard of Dun & Bradstreet, they are going to be your new friend, should I say, if you're building business credit score. So Dun & Bradstreet is equivalent to, let's say, Equifax or whoever you use for your personal personal credit. Dun & Bradstreet is the largest company business for reporting business credit. They're a business reporting agency. So this is where you will go to find out what your business credit score is, okay? You can also sign up with them. I probably don't recommend it, but you can also sign up with them so that they can help you build business credit score. But most of the stuff you can do on your own as well, but they are where you will go to find out what your credit score is once it's established. Okay, so we are going to move on to step 3. Step 3 is still part of us building our foundation. In step 3, we are going to learn how to, or not learn how, but we're going to bank the right way. This is where I talked about before, we're going to separate your personal finances from your business. Once you have your entity, your EIN number and things like that, you're going to go to the bank if you haven't already done so, and we're going to open a business bank account. This date is very important. So that's why I was saying do these things as early as possible when you start your business, because most banks, most lenders look at the date that you opened your business bank account, and that's when they say that that they consider your business operation. So you could have been in business 2 or 3 years, but once you open your business bank account, they're going to say, hey, 2021 is when she actually opened her account. So that's when we're going to say her business was open. And you could have been doing business a few years before you thought you needed to get to the business bank account. So it's always good to open it as soon as possible once you've done the other steps, because this is where they're going to look at. And I would say do your homework when searching for a bank, because especially if you're a small business, you want to find a small bank that's friendly to small businesses, right? Because not all banks are friendly to small businesses. So do your research before selecting the bank that you want to use. Step 4, we're going to move on to. Step 4 is start building business credit. Now, this is where we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of building your business credit. We're going to start with vendor accounts, right? So this is where we're going to look for accounts that are net 15, net 30, net 60, and net 90. Now, if you don't know what a net means, it means that you have 15, 30, or 60 or 90 days to pay back the money that you borrow. You're borrowing it like you putting it on a credit card, and they're going to tell you, okay, you have a net 30 account with us. That means if you buy your office supplies on the 15th of the month, on the next month, on the 15th, you have to pay that in full. And that's what you will do to get these vendor accounts. Once you have several vendor accounts, and I'm going to tell you some of the accounts that you can use are vendors such as Quail, Monopolize Your Marketplace, Seton, Uline, and Granger. And the reason I'm giving you those companies' names is because the tricky part with this step is that not all businesses have to report their accounts to Dun & Bradstreet. So they want to say, hey, Jackie bought office supplies on this month. she paid it off in full by the next month. And she's done this several times in a row. So because I'm a company that reports to Duns and Bradstreet, I'm going to tell Duns and Bradstreet, Jackie's business is in good standing, so we're going to increase her score. So that's how Duns and Bradstreet comes up with your score. So that's the tricky part, is you have to find businesses that are actually going to report. And some of them, like I said, are Quail, Monopolize Your Marketplace, Seton, Uline, and Granger. And you'll buy several of them because we're going to get as many vendor accounts as we can in this step. And again, the key, just like with your personal credit, you have to pay your bills on time. You have to stay within the net time that they want you to. That's very important with all of these steps, is that, you know, because they can report negative things as well. And remember, we're trying to get our business to look good for the bank. So we want all positive things going to Duns and Bradstreet.
Jackie, they're asking you to repeat the names of those companies, please.
Yeah, that's normal. Okay, so in this step, in the net accounts, the ones that I know that report to Duns and Bradstreet is Quail. Quail is a office supply store. I believe they're owned by Office Depot as well. It's a really nice company. Anything that you need, I don't care if it's toilet paper, you can buy it from there. You know, anything that you may need for your businesses is Quail, Q-U-I-L-L. The next company is called Monopolize Your Marketplace. So with Monopolize Your Marketplace, it's a download where you can download business information, and you actually, once you download it, you pay them monthly for the service that you use. The other one is Seton. Seton is a branding company. You can buy business cards and things like that from them. Uline, I'm sure many of you have heard of Uline. Uline sells other things for businesses. They sell, if you need retail bags, anything up to large construction equipment, things like that. You call them, they'll even email you this big, huge catalog, and you could just scroll through there and, you know, apply for your net 30 account and start going from there. And Granger is also another more construction company, but I'm sure every business can find something from there that you can buy. Those are the few that I know. If you have others that you're already using, other companies that you're buying for, just give them a call and ask them, hey, do you guys report to, well, first of all, you want to ask them, do you all do net accounts? And then you say, but do you all report to Duns and Bradstreet? You want to find that out up first before you start spending money with companies and you're not sure. So I hope that was clear enough. It's Quail, Monopolize Your Marketplace. Seton is S-E-T-O-N. Uline is just like it sounds, U-L-I-N-E. And Granger is the last one.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can scroll up with this mouse here. It doesn't want to act right. Okay, so are you a business owner or entrepreneur? The question is, are you a business owner or entrepreneur? So just because you're a business owner does not mean that you're an entrepreneur. And let me say from the beginning that my disclaimer is that I have nothing against business owners, but there is definitely a difference in being a business owner and entrepreneur, right? So a business owner, they focus on putting out fires, right? And I did those back in the day, and it's very stressful. They're more reactive people. They envision a world where that's perfect, right? They envision a world where employees do their jobs, where customers pay on time, where equipment never breaks down. I don't care if it's even the printer, nothing ever breaks down in their world. And they also never imagined that a pandemic could happen, right? So they're more reactive people. They wait till things happen. They wait till the pandemic comes or whatever it is, and then they react. Entrepreneurs, on the other hand, are prepared for the future, right? They make decisions for a long-term view. They're true about building their business that can one day run without them. I want to be on the beach. while my business is running without me, right? That's the plan. And business credit can help you move from being a business owner to an entrepreneur. So definitely establishing business credit is the way to go if you want to be an entrepreneur, because it can help you be prepared if things come up. So we are at step 5. Step 5 is a celebration step, right? We're halfway through the steps, and at this step, in step 5, you're making your credit account start to work for you. In this step, you are actually going to get what's called a paydex score. You're going to actually be able to go to Duns and Bradstreet and get a credit score. It's going to show up there because you've already established and been working on these net 30 vendor accounts, right? So now all of them companies have started reporting to Duns and Bradstreet, hey, Jackie has been doing her business the way she should be. And when I go there in step 5, I'm going to see a credit score. And that credit score starts with 80. Remember, I told you it runs from 0 to 100. And now when I go there, it's celebration time. My credit score is 80, right? Your hard work is starting to pay off. Improving your business score should always be on your mind. I check mine monthly. You should always be working towards getting to close as you can to that 100 every month. You should be working on improving your credit score. And as long as you utilize your business credit, you make the payments on time, I can't stress that enough, your score is going to get stronger and stronger. So that is step 5, a celebration step. Okay, so now we're going to talk about step 6. Step 6 is us, coming down off of our high from getting our credit score, and we're going to get right back to work. So here we're going to go to the next level, still building vendor accounts. We're going to try in this step to at least get 5, 10 if possible, revolving and net 30 accounts. By now, you have already established in the first 4 steps, you've established at least 5 vendor accounts. Now we're going to add 5 or 10 more to that so we can have this powerful business score. These are going to be both, like I said, net 30 accounts and maybe some revolving credit accounts with companies such as, and I'll repeat them again, these are companies such as ADP, which is a security system. You can, if you're working from home, you can put an ADP system on your house and write it off as a business credit. You pay on it monthly, you pay on time every monthly, and they're going to report it to Duns and Bradstreet. Singular Oil, which is a gas company, you may be able to get a gas card from Singular Oil, and they report your business to the business credit score. BHAF was actually one of the first revolving credit cards that I got. You go on BHAF and you apply for business credit. Wayfair, I don't know if you guys know Wayfair, they are a furniture company. They use them as well. So if you need to buy office furniture, you can use BHAF, and they report to Duns and Bradstreet as well. And they will give you a credit line, and you can use that as well. Macy's has a business revolving credit. If you need to buy suits for your business or whatever it is, you can get a business credit card in Macy's name, or I'm saying that backwards. You can get a Macy's card in your business name, and they will report as well. Sherwin-Williams, which is a paint company, they also, in this step, you can use them. And again, let me go back to tell you that, remember I was saying everything has to be in steps, like with Macy's credit card. They're going to check with Duns and Bradstreet and make sure you have all of these other vendor accounts. So if you haven't established that, that's what I'm saying. You have to follow each one step by step to make sure everything is in line, because Macy's will deny you if you haven't already established some of those other trade lines. Okay. And by the time I got to this step, and here's another tip that I had to do myself, because by the time I had gotten to this step, I was getting overwhelmed with all of these trade lines, 10, 15 accounts going on. I had to actually create a spreadsheet, actually. Macy's, I bought, I used my business credit on, the 5th of the month. So I know, you know, by the 5th of next month, I need to pay on it, you know, because it's very important that you're making payments on time. So I actually had to create a spreadsheet, show all the counts that I had open that I was working on every month. So I'll know the dates that I was making purchases, the date that the bill was due. So I was never, you know, making sure everybody was paid on time. So that was a huge help for me, was to create that spreadsheet. But that's when you're serious about getting business credit done. All right, so that's step 6. Oops, how did I get to step 8? Okay, so because step 7 is right here on the same page. See, I can't see that other side, but that's cool. Okay, so step 7, I think of each step like you're building a house, right? So in the first 2 or 3 steps, we were building the foundation of this house that we're making, right? We put the walls on for to protect our business with a business entity. And I would say getting the paydex score was like putting the roof on the house. But in this step, step 7, we're going to actually put in the windows, right? In step 7, this is going to keep the heat in. This is going to keep us going, going to get the get our business credit score even taking it to the next level. We're going to work on, in this step, step 7, building more revolving credits. We may have done some in step 6, but in this step, step 7, that's all we're going to work on, is revolving accounts. And if you don't know what revolving accounts are, they're pretty much just like credit cards. They give you a limit. Let's say it's 10,000, and you can keep that limit going. And just like your personal credit score, you want to keep it as low as possible, your usage of it, because that all helps build your business credit. But in this step, we're going to just focus on revolving credit cards. So there are retail companies in this step that you can use. Most of them are gas cards, like Shell and Chevron are very good gas cards. And this is great because my accountant loves that I have a gas card, because, you know, of course, at the end of the year, you want to write off your travel and you can write off your gas, and I can just pull out that credit card, you know, statement and say, look how much money I've spent in gas this year. So I love my my gas cards. And again, companies that you can apply for that will report to Duns and Bradstreet are Shell and Chevron. Someone recently told me that Exxon reports too, but I would double check with them, but I did hear that recently. Other companies are Office Depot. I also love my Office Depot card. I use them as well. So those are some companies that will give you revolving credit in this step. And again, I can't stress enough, even though they are revolving accounts and you don't have to pay it in full like you had to do in your net 30 accounts. I would say, again, make sure you're making the payments on time and keeping that credit, your credit net down as far as you can each month. Because, you know, the point, just like with your personal credit, you don't want to get caught up, as they say, caught up. So that was step 7. So now we're going to go to step 8. We are rolling. We are at step 8. This step is very similar to step 7. We're going to continue to work on revolving credit. And by this step, you know, you're going to be getting mail, you know, from creditors, from companies asking you, you know, do you want to get business revolving credit cards? But it's very important that if you're not ready, you should not apply, or at least give them a call and make sure you're pre-qualified. But at this step, I even think back in step 6, I started receiving information in the mail about, you know, business credit and things like that. But over time, I learned that it's best that you follow the steps after talking to people. They said I should have waited, you know. So by the time you get to step 8, I think it is about time you're going to be able to use some of those counts, because financing is made easy by this account. And again, in this step, we're going to focus on revolving credit. These because these counts have more stringent requirements. So again, they're going to look back to see what other things you have already established. So that's why you have to wait for these companies at this stage. These companies are accounts like Dell. You need computer. Once you get to this step, this is a great place to go. They're going to report, they're going to give you a line of credit. And this credit, I never used Dell, but I was told that in this step, they will give you a credit limit of $20,000 right off the back if you've already established all the credit. So if you need to get computers, this is a great way to go. Sears is still working online, and you can get business credit through them in this, get a business revolving credit card at this hunt. And also Amazon, PayPal, Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco even, and budget rental car. You know, if you have to travel for your business, you can apply for business credit for budget, and they will report it to the business agency. My favorite of these is my Amazon credit card, because you know you can buy anything on Amazon, and it used to be you get it the next day, but now you know it's a little slower. But I love Amazon. That can, you know, put out a lot of fires for me. So I do love my Amazon credit card that I got in this stage. Okay, so that's step 8. I'll repeat the accounts again. It's Dell, the computer company, DEL, Sears, Amazon, everyone knows Amazon, PayPal, Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco, COSTCO. I don't know if Costco is everywhere, but it's definitely here in the DMV area. And budget rental car. Those are the accounts that you're going to apply for in step 8. Okay. So step 9 is another exciting step, right? We had step 5 that was like, woohoo, great. So now we've been working. We're up to step 9. This is, like I said, another exciting step, because you're finally going to get cash accounts, and everybody knows that cash is king, right? And in this step, this is where you're going to be able to finance cars. Let's say you have a trucking company, a dump truck company, whatever, and you can finance your trucks. You're going to put these trucks in your business name only. It is not going to have your social security number on it at all. So that's why we call them cash accounts. Again, you're not going to have anything in your personal name, so there is no personal guarantee at all. So at this point, you now have a powerful business score. But again, I would say before applying for these accounts, once you get to this step, you would call whoever it is that you're going to. Let's say you want to finance with someone, you know, whoever you're banking through or whatever. I would call them first to make sure that you're in the right position, and they can check your business credit score. They can look at how many revolving accounts you have, and they also check to see your business income, of course, to see if you are qualified for that loan. So definitely do that before you apply for these cash accounts and auto loans. Researching is definitely required for that step. All right. So step 10. Step 10 is our final quote. Thank you guys for hanging in here with me. Step 10 is the main reason entrepreneurs build their business credit. It is to gain access to revolving accounts and cash funding. In step 10, you're going to be, by step 10, you are credit savvy. You have followed all the steps, and you know everything about business credit and how it works. This is when you will need to apply for a loan. But you need to do some research before applying for a loan. You need to make sure that you can repay the loan, right? You want to make sure, but you want to do all of this before you need a loan. You want to have already spoken with the bank and doing some investigation about applying for this loan. Because the more prepared you are, the better you are in case things happen, like the pandemic or whatever. You want to speak to the bank manager, because by now you have a business relationship with your bank manager. You know them, they know you by first name, because you're always in there, hopefully depositing money and paying on your credit. In this step, you're going to need you only want to apply if you have collateral, and sometimes having that collateral is those cars that you bought or you know, some people don't need to buy cars, but some of it can be putting your business as collateral, right? You want to apply when you have business, good business credit, right? And you want to have it, and 3, when your business does not have a cash problem. You want to apply for a loan when you're not having cash problems. So you don't want to wait until things get rough, and you're having trouble paying your employees, or you can't pay your retail space or whatever it is. You don't want to wait to then. You want to have already built this relationship with the bank and have already talked about opportunities. And in this step, you can also use, if you don't want to go to a bank, you can also use SBA financing, 401k financing, and private investors in step 10. Okay, so I got one last quote. This is my favorite. I love my boss. P.S. I work for myself. With business credit, you can get the capital that you need and love your boss too. So that was that. So I want to open it up to questions, but before I do, I would like to. Somebody needs to silence their phones. Thank you, thank you. So I just wanted to, before I opened it up to questions, I wanted to dedicate this presentation and the book that I wrote. She wrote the foreword for me for my book, to DeVay Campbell. This was an amazing lady. I lost her to breast cancer 2 years ago. And like I said, she wrote the foreword for me. So if you are able to read the book to get more details about the power of business credit, please read her foreword. She was an amazing an amazing business owner and friend. And a mentor as well. She was the inventor of "Take your brilliance to the bank." So that was her saying. So I want to dedicate this presentation and the book to her. And then I'd like to open it up to anyone that may have questions. So let me stop sharing and see if I can find, whoops, stop sharing and see.
Jackie, I can start. Someone asked earlier, if they have a personal credit score of more than 700, can they leverage this into business credit? You're on mute, Jackie.
Okay, I would say no, because of course, it's best to have great personal credit score, and I talk about it in depth in the book. But on the shorthand, you want to establish a whole nother entity with outside of your personal score. Now, sometimes when you get up to steps 9 and even 10 as collateral, they may want you to put your social security number on those accounts. I would try not to. But if you have to, it is great to have to leverage that great credit score. But do your best, even when you get to those, not to use your personal credit at all.
We also had another question. If you're starting a new business, how long on average does it take to get from step 1 to step 10?
So that definitely varies, because like I said, you're going to be buying stuff, with these accounts every month. So some people may have more cash flow to be able to move through the steps faster, because you're going to be 5 vendor accounts. And if you got to spend $50 with each one, or $75, whatever it is that you have to do, and you have cash flow, you would be able to move through those steps fast, get those accounts going to move on to the next step. But if you have a cash flow problem, it may take you a little longer. You may say, okay, this month I can only do 2. Next month I'll try to do 2 more. So it really all depends on your personal cash flow.
I have a hand raised from Kahindi. Did you want to ask your question?
Candy, you're muted.
Okay, we can go to the next one.
I think she was trying to talk, but for some reason she can't get off mute. It looked like she got off. Maybe her volume is down.
Hmm. She says she can't get off. Did you want to type it into the chat? This was a great quick presentation. Is there any thoughts about seeking a line of credit?
Yes, there's definitely thoughts about that. What you want to do is lines of credit are at the closer to the end. In step 9 and 10, that's where you want to get a line of credit. That's pretty much a loan. Well, it's more the revolving credit. So you want to follow each step in order, and then when it gets to the revolving credit, that is the same thing as a line of credit. That, you know, and like I said, because it's done in your EIN number, they know it's coming from a business, so you will get a larger line of credit than you would with your personal, like a personal credit card.
Okay, so Kahinde wanted to know if, I don't know if you can see it, but can you establish credit with your phone provider?
So I don't think so. I've never heard of that. I know you need a business phone line to put on your application, because they will look at that, but I'm not sure if they report to Duns and Bradstreet. I've never heard of them being able, and that's the very important key, is you want to make sure that everyone you're applying with reports to Duns and Bradstreet, so that you can get credit for whatever it is that you're purchasing.
And Tanya Miller is asking, do you offer services to help new companies step through building their credit? I just want to jump in and say that MP Services, we offer several different services to assist. I'm not sure if Jackie does, but her book is very informative. And then Jackie, you can go ahead and answer.
Right,
If
so
you-
that was the best answer, is to go through MP Services, but because no, I don't. My gallery keeps me so busy, so busy that I don't have the time to do that. Yeah, between keeping my own business credit straight and running the gallery, that no, I don't offer those services. But like Tara said, MP Services is the place to go. They can help you.
You just had another one. Do you advise apply or multiple trade line accounts at once? And how soon can a new business get a DUNS number?
So a new business can get a DUNS number as soon as they get their EIN number and all of the foundation things done, you know, their business name and things like that. You can open a Duns and Bradstreet number. You want to open that as soon as possible. And you can start applying for these vendor accounts as soon as you get that EIN number. So some of the companies, and that this was a great question, because I think I left that out. What you want to do is call those first vendors or any of the vendors that you have and ask them, how do you get these accounts? So let's say you have to call, off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Uline, but let's say you're ready to apply with Uline. I would give them a call and say, hey, should I buy something first in my business name before I ask for net 30? And they may say, yes, we require you to, buy something 2 times, before you can apply for net 30. But some of them will say, no, you can apply right off the bat. So it is best to call them to establish that as well. I call everybody, see what's going on, make sure, everything is going well, that that they're still reporting. And, so definitely.
Kahinde said, thank you for the answer. Sonia says, your book is great, detailed, and worth the investment. And again, I want to repeat, we are giving away the books free if you complete the survey and if you are selected. we are selecting randomly, I guess maybe at least seven to 10 applicants. And then
And
someone's asking, where do you go to check your business credit score?
so well, to add on to Tara's last answer to the question is, the book is very simple to follow. And it's way more detailed. It gives you way more detail. This was definitely just an overview. And it also has other vendors in it as well that you can check with about the, you really don't need to, like, remember I was saying that Duns and Bradstreet, they offer services that can help you build business credit, but really, I would try to do it myself. It can be costly when you're doing that and trying to build your business credit at the same time. And then the second question is, that's where you're going to go. You're going to go to Duns and Bradstreet to check your business credit score. And here's the thing with the checking with Duns and Bradstreet, you can check anybody's business credit score. It's not a secret like your personal business credit score. And it's easy. And the reason they make it public is because, let's say Kahindi and I want to do business together, right? And we're about to partner on this great adventure. And I'm like, maybe I need to check Kahindi out, make sure she's pays her bills, just like, you need to check out your partner before you marry them to make sure that they are financially okay, right? So I'm going to check Kahindi's business credit score on Duns and Bradstreet to make sure she is in good standing, especially when you're may be doing business with someone overseas and things like that. You want to make sure that their company is legit. So that way Kahindi and I can partner together. And, she's checked on me and I've checked on her. We're both in good standings. But that is definitely where you want to go, is to Duns and Bradstreet. And you just literally type in your business name, and you will see what your credit score. It may come up that they don't know who you are because you haven't registered with them yet. And then it'll give you your business credit score.
There were a couple of questions, Jackie. Again, I just want to repeat, we will be sending out a copy of the presentation along with the link to view the recording of this workshop. So someone said they went to the website, Quill and Uline, and selected the products and checked out and chose Bill Me, and they're able to start their net 30 accounts that way.
Okay.
Great.
Mm-hmm. And now that you started doing that, remember to eventually start a spreadsheet. I bought the what's today, the 14th. I purchased some things today, and that means I have to get them paid off. I think both of those are net 30 accounts. So I purchased them, and so I know by January 14th I've got to pay that bill on time.
Someone is asking, they had that we're seeking contracts with Fortune 100 company, and the DMV credit score was always a big hit and disqualified them. Are there any thoughts about correcting a DMV credit score?
A DMV? I'm not sure that's not a business credit score. I'm not sure what a DMV credit score is.
Dun and Bradstreet, I'm sorry, DMV, Dun and Bradstreet.
DMV, okay. So it's sad, but it's really just like your personal credit score. You're going to have to pretty much start with new vendor accounts, and have them, start reporting to them, and, hopefully you'll start to build your business again. But just like you said, it's true. It can definitely stop you from, getting contracts, because again, they check you out as well, or loans in the future. Yeah.
Sorry, we have some hands raised. You can unmute yourself. We can start with Tanya Williams. You have 3 hands raised.
Hi, good evening. Thank you so much for the information. In regards to the Dun & Bradstreet credit report, I'm inside of my account now, and it doesn't show the paydex score. Do I have to pay for that? It just shows an assessment like where the score has improved, but I don't actually see a number.
Tanya, that's strange. Your Paydex score should come right up. And you've already established, you've seen a Paydex score before there.
No, I've been trying to find it for several months now, and it shows all of my information that I registered and, my DUNS number, but there's no actual score.
So you have been using credit, revolving credit or vendor accounts?
No, I'm trying to push that. And just as early as today, I actually applied for an account with Samsung and was denied. So it's probably because I don't have any credit established.
Right. You have got to. So yeah, you can't. Someone needs to mute. Can you hear me now? Tanya, can you hear me? So yeah, you have got to go back to the beginning. Remember, I was saying you've got to follow everything in steps. So you actually don't have a Paydex score yet. And that's probably why you were denied. So what you need to do is go back to those net 30 accounts, net 15, net 30, sometimes net 90 accounts. But you have to go back to them and establish those first. Sometimes it may take, because they're a business, and this isn't their priority, reporting to Duns and Bradstreet, but they do have people in their accounting department that will report. So sometimes it may take 1 or 2 months for them to start reporting, but you want to go back to those first vendor accounts, start buying from them on their net 30 accounts, and then eventually they're going to start reporting it to Duns and Bradstreet, and then your credit score will pop up. And like I said, when you first get your credit score, it's going to be 80. So that's why you're not seeing anything there.
Thank you so much. That makes sense.
India Armstrong, you want to unmute?
Hi, yes, thank you. So my question is, I don't recall that you mentioned credit cards. I was wondering if the American Express reports to Duns and Bradstreet, or if there were any business cards that you would recommend.
So thanks, India. Beautiful tree. So yes, when I was talking about the revolving accounts, those are credit cards. So revolving means they're going to give you, let's say, a limit of 10,000. And, so, you don't have to use the whole 10,000. You can use $100 or whatever. You pay that off and then you still have the 10,000. That's why they call it revolving. American Express is one of the harder ones to get. I would probably start with a Visa with the bank that you're already doing business with, and you've already established a relationship with them. And I would not apply for a credit card at all until you have a Paydex score.
Okay, so I already have an American Express business card that I was approved for, but I don't have a Paydex score. So that's why I was wondering. I don't know if I should call them and say, hey.
There's a 75, unless you just really got lucky, but there's a 75% chance that your business American Express card on it has your social security number on it. Yeah. And see, that's what we're trying to avoid, because, things can go bad, life happens. And let's say your business, goes bad. You don't want to be held accountable for those credit cards and things like that, and, that's how it is. Your business goes bad, but they can't go after you on your personal credit score. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to have to get in your personal credit, where they put liens on your house or whatever it is. You want to keep everything separate. If your business goes bad, let's pray it doesn't, then that just gets all washed away. You're not years later trying to recover from it on your personal credit. So I'm pretty sure, you can call them and see, but I'm pretty sure that even though it's your business name on that credit card, they have a guarantee with your social security number on it.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next, you have Tammy Gibson. Please unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good evening. The reason why I got on, I too have 2 American Express business card. I have the gold and then I had the regular blue business card. but I don't see in my Duns and Bradshaw account that I have a number, because they told me I would have to pay a fee for that in order enough to see anything else and to also implement all the credit that I have. Because unfortunately, I've been in business with my trucking business for the past 12 months. I started in January. So when I started, I already established the business credit with my EIN number, but I don't see the score. And they keep saying, you have to pay this and that. And I'm like, at first it was a deterrent because it was like the money that they wanted me to pay. And I was like, is that for the year? Or is that every month? So it was like, so you're getting the number. I have the Dun and Bradstreet number, but should I pay that amount to be able to just to see that score that you're talking about?
No, you should not have to pay at all. Duns and Bradstreet, I mean, you guys all have personal credit, and you know how Equifax
Right.
and all of them are always trying to get money out of you to check your score and all of that stuff. Duns and Bradstreet is no different, right? It's all a money's game. I believe that you probably don't have a Paydex score yet. That's why it's not showing up, because now they have services where you can pay and they can give you information on how to grow your business and stuff like that. But the
Right.
Paydex score definitely should be public, because like I said, if I want to do business with you, I'm going to check to see if you're okay. So I'm pretty sure that you don't have.
Well,
again,
I've been
like you-
getting emails saying that your score with Dun and Bradshaw, Bradstreet has increased. And they have been reporting, because the ones that I have, they have been reporting. But I kind of got on to the this synopsis late. What do you mean about the net 30?
So the net 30 is the beginning accounts. That was in step 1, step, I think 4 and 5. So net 30 is you most of them are net 30s. You buy something on, let's say, the first of the month, and you have to pay it off in 30 days, just like, American Express cards can.
Right.
You have to pay them off. So they're called net 30. They're giving you 30 days to pay your bill. So let's say you go onto one of those vendor accounts, you set up a net 30 account, and then they're going to report that you are paying every month to, paying them on time every month. And then they're going to report to Duns and Bradstreet. This is how people usually get their initial business credit score.
Okay, so the other thing is, like, I don't have my website, but I'm in the process of getting my woman-owned certifications so that I can actually get other business proposals for me, because I'm an owner of a box truck. And so I've been working with Amazon for the past 11 months, and I've been doing pretty good. But my thing is, some of this is overwhelming, because like I said, this is my first in this venture on my own, because I come from a railroad transportation side. Now I'm on the trucking side. So I had help in the beginning, but that's why I said I had a lot of business credit, like about $40,000 worth of business credit up front when starting the business. And the way I did it, I didn't want that out of pocket cost. But like when I charge stuff on my business account, I go ahead and pay it off like what you was instructing. So I'm basically doing all of that, but it's like, how can you tell where you actually are?
Yeah. And again, I'm going to say, like I was telling India, that you probably have a personal guarantee on that credit score on that business card. Because if
Okay.
you did not have a Paydex score, I just cannot see them giving you any kind of line of credit at all, just in your business name. Like, why would
Yes,
they?
ma'am.
They don't even know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'm pretty sure that somewhere in those forms you filled out for that line of credit, your social security number is on it, which means you are still liable. And that's why you probably don't see your
Paydex score.
Yeah. So you need to go back to the beginning and start
Yeah,
with the
because
net 30 accounts.
Yeah, because I do know that I think I had like 5 cards, and I think 3 of the cards are business cards. Like I said, I got the 2 American Express, and then I have the Discover. But the other one, like First Bank and Chase, they're not business cards. They are, but I had them underneath. I use them for my business, but
Right.
I know for a fact those 2 as not reporting as business, because I went back and asked, because I want to know about the interest rate on them, or when would the 0% interest rate will end. So once I found out that, I was kind of disappointed, but once they told me what they told me, I was like, okay, at this point, I know I'm stepping in the right direction, but it's just like, where do you go from this place and that place? That's why I joined this group so I can like,
You are
let me see where I'm at.
right. You are definitely going in the right direction. Definitely. You started your business. I mean, sometimes I've been in business 20 years, and it's always going to be a learning process. Believe me, there's always going to be some learning curves. You're in the right place. You're here with MP Services. I would just start back at the beginning, and having those business credit cards with your social security number is not separating your business from your personal expenses. You've got to separate them, get an account.
And that's what I basically been trying to do, is separating the 2, because I didn't want it to be mixed up, because I had already had so much underneath my name, underneath my personal. I wanted everything to gravitate over. And my last question I think I have is, so the stuff that I want to actually keep underneath, can I transfer that stuff into a business account, or would that be, how you transition, like the 2 that's not, should I transfer them to the business stuff that is?
Yes, when you get cards that are only in the business name, you can definitely, I believe you should be able to move those things that your account, just like any bank transfer. I'm not sure how that works, because so let me take that back, because I'm not sure. You probably can't, because it's under your social security number. They don't want to take it out of your personal, and because they rather it be in your personal, because they know they can go after you anytime for the rest of your life. So
Yes, ma'am.
you probably won't be able to transfer it.
Okay.
You're just probably going to have to pay off those loans or credit cards, pay them off, close them.
Well, no, I keep everything at a 0 balance, even like the gas card. Now, that one last thing, I'm glad I said something. Like Exxon Mobil, I have an Exxon and a Love's, but we basically use the Exxon Mobil more. But I know I need quite a few, because, like I said, I'm in trucking, and I'm due to buy another truck soon. So my thing is, you mentioned Shell and Chevron. Those are the better ones to get, because they are reporting directly to Don. Because that's what I want to know. The ones that's going to report directly to, I want to be able to apply for those.
Right. And again, I would stress that before you apply for anything, call the company. You may have to get 2 or 3 people on the phone, because the first person you're going to call, they don't know anything about business credit or whether they report. You may have to talk to 2 or 3 people, but you want to make sure, because you're wasting your time having these accounts, and they're not sending that information to Duns and Bradstreet. So definitely report to them.
Okay, and one more thing, Uline, because I used to get the catalogs for Uline to order the business supplies, but I haven't been getting them recently. So my question to you is, you're saying get an account with them and order from them for your business, because my business is at home, because it's like I'm watching a load board. Okay.
That's fine that you work from home. It is personally fine. It's great. I started, working from home as well. And Uline definitely reports to Duns and Bradstreet. So definitely you can give them a call. Make sure, because at any time they could say, hey, we're short of help because of COVID. We're not reporting right now. So you know how everything's going crazy now. But so definitely call them, check behind the information that I've given you with every company, because things can change at any time. But as far as I know, I use Uline every month. You buy from them. they have been reporting to Duns and Bradstreet. So yeah, call
Yes,
them,
ma'am.
order a catalog or shop online if you like, whatever's easier
It-
for you.
Okay, because the way I try to do with the credit cards, because I'm trying to make sure I'm building up the credit, it depends on how much I'm charging too. I try to pay it off within 6 months to a year. So it depends on where it's at when
Yeah.
I'm trying to pay it off. So, and they've been bumping my stuff, my credit line up. So it's like, okay, I don't
Because
need
they
to
know
bump
they've
this
got
one
a
up.
personal credit, because they know they have a personal guarantee on it. They're gonna keep bumping. And that's not
Okay,
what
gotcha.
you want, because
Okay,
it's still under your social security number and things go wrong, life happens and you don't want to get stuck in your personal, on your personal credit.
okay.
Okay,
And Jackie, I'm sorry, I don't want to cut
yeah,
y'all
I'm
off, but we did
sorry.
have one more question.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Actu-
you.
Actually, two more. We have a hand raised, and then someone wants to know how you spell Paydex and net. She wants to make sure she's pronouncing the net 30.
Okay, so Paydex is spelled Paydex. So it's a Paydex score.
And then you
And
have Dania Karudi. Can you unmute yourself?
Thank you. My name's Dania Cerruti. Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Jacqueline, for doing this evening. It's very important. You had some really good information. I'm co-owner with my business partner in the background of 360 Marketing and PR. We're a full service marketing agency. We're in New Jersey, Philadelphia, and we're in Lanham, Maryland. We've been in business for 6 years, and we have been going through a lot to get where we are, and we made it through the pandemic. And this year we have focused primarily on building our business credit. We're tired of using our personal credit. And something that is personal to me in the questions was Karen Blackwell, when she was talking about MWBEs and the credit score and them being disqualified, and any thoughts about correcting their credit score. I just really had a comment on that. We are a certified MWSBE business, and we did have problems with Dun and Bradstreet for many years. It took us 2 years to get things corrected. And I wanted to let Karen and everyone else know who is having some difficulty with Dun and Bradstreet to call them and not give up. What you have to do if you're being disqualified, when someone does check in on you, another business, you are now eligible to see who did that and get your information, and then go back and go over it with them and then dispute it. You can dispute it. We've had to dispute this one thing we had on our credit about 8 times over 2 years. Dun and Bradstreet lost being the big, credit agency for the businesses, because they are so convoluted and basically a little crazy. So they got kicked back, right? So you have to deal with them with a lot of patience, and put yourself on pause when you're talking to them and on mute, and then say some things so they can't hear you, and then come back and keep talking to them. But what I'm telling all of you is, do not give up, okay? You can get that off of your credit, and you can go back to not being disqualified. We were disqualified too. We do a lot of business with the state, and we're going on the federal level now. And that's why we're leveling up with our business credit and not getting the credit cards. And India, I completely understand what you're saying, but the credit cards is personal guarantee. I so agree with this. And the reason why I know so well is because of, these past 16 months where we've been almost ripping out our hair. And that's why I'm looking so crazy right now. But definitely dig into Dun and Bradstreet. Do not give up. They will fix it eventually. And then if you really get frustrated, tweet against them. They'll come back quickly. That's what happens. That's what we did. We tweeted with them. We tweeted against them, and they came back quickly like, oh, guess what? Miraculously, we figured out what was wrong with you. So I just wanted to jump in and really thank you and tell everybody, congratulations on your business. Never give up, and do not allow Dun and Bradstreet to discourage you to the point that, you think that there's nothing you can do. And regarding pay decks, you cannot contact them directly and just get it. You can see pay decks on Dun and Bradstreet. And if you're looking to check someone else's credit, you can get it, but your own, but that's another thing. So, but I just wanted to say that. And there is someone on here named Sharente Carr who had a great question on there, and we didn't talk about it yet, but I do have some information about that too. So I just wanted to put that in there. And if we want to come back after you talk about that question, I would be more than happy to talk about Sam too. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And I'll put my information into the chat. So if anybody wants to chat with me about my personal experience with my business partner with that and our headaches, I'd be happy to do that. So I just want to be helpful because we're all out here trying to get it okay.
Yeah,
Thank you. And thank you, Jacqueline and Tara, if I'm saying that right, or Tara, for hosting this. This is really great and very important.
That was great information. I would just add to that if any of you guys have ever had problems with your personal credit, you know how hard it is to dispute it and going back and forth and back and forth. You have to remember that they're a business, unfortunately, at your expense, just like Equifax, Duns and Bradstreet is the same way. So her going back and, being persistent, I believe in persistence with everything, has paid off. So so what she said was perfect. You just have to keep on. And like I said before, they are a business, so they're going to, even worse than probably your personal credit, like Equifax and them, they're trying to find ways to get money. And it was nice, the whole tweeting about them. That's good. I'm gonna definitely use that again. Definitely. Thank you. And you're in Lanham, I'm in Glendale, so we're right down the street from each other. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I use, let me see, nav.com. I use nav before as well. The question says, I use nav.com to check my business score. It's $39.99 a month, but they also report to Duns and Bradstreet as a trade line. Yes, they do. That's very correct. Again, it's another company that can help you. They offer services to help you build your credit. They also report to Duns and Bradstreet, and I did use them as well. But because of the expense of $39.99 a month, I didn't really see the benefits from them besides of things that I couldn't do on my own. Let me say that. But the benefit, I guess, the best benefit is they do report to Duns and Bradstreet. So definitely, if you're looking for another trade line, you can use nav.com. There's one more question. My local banker told me it does not consider the Duns and Bradstreet score as much as it considers business assets and cash flow. What is the speaker's knowledge on this distinction? Okay, so whatever you were applying for, you might have been applying for revolving credit or a loan or cash funds. So that's why they told you that, but that's why they told you that they also want to look at your cash flow and business assets. And I said that you have to follow the steps accordingly, but they do consider, it's like a pie chart, just with anything. Of course, a percentage of it is them looking at your credit score, just like with your personal, let's say you want to apply for a house, right? On your personal credit, they want to make sure your job or whatever it is, you have enough finances to pay for it. And that's what they're talking about with your cash flow and your assets. But a part of it is when you apply for a house, they want to look at your personal credit score. It's the same when you go to get a business loan or a revolving credit. It is a pie chart, and they do look at your business credit score. But just like I said in steps 9 and 10, that they also may want to see, how much money you're making with the business as well. It's the same exact thing. So definitely that's why the local banker told you. But it's definitely the credit score is part of that pie chart.
Hate
So
to cut you off. Very good information. So we're going to wrap things up. I don't know if you had any final words or we may have missed some questions, but if we did, I did put the email in there. And we can forward information. We'll provide Jackie's information. If you are in the area, please visit her art gallery, Overdue Recognition and Bowie, and she'll provide that information. We'll email that out to everyone. This will be recorded and the recording will be emailed to you. The link to the recording will be emailed to you by the end of this week. If there's no other questions, we're going to end the workshop. And I'm going to stop recording. There it is. Okay. Well, thank you guys and have a great evening. And we hope to hear from you all. Please take advantage of it. I'm glad you all participated today. But we do have other workshops with MP Services. Please take a look at them and register and take full advantage of what's available for minority businesses. Have a good evening. And thank you, Jacqueline.
thank you,
Awesome,
Tara. Thank
awesome,
you.
as always.
I love it. Thank you.
We may need to do another one. Jeez.
Count me in, definitely.
Right. Oh, they're saying bye. I don't know what this red X is, what that means.
Oh, no.
Thanks, guys. That was nice. You had quite a few.
Yeah, I love it. And I learned some things too.
Oh, someone said, yes, do another. We will do another. There is, I should have said it was going to be repeated. We can say it in the email.
Okay.
This workshop, we have a series of 10 to 15 workshops and we do 2 sessions. So this workshop will be repeated in the second session. It'll be the exact same workshop, but we may even incorporate another, a follow-up to this one since we had so much, so many questions. Great, great, great. All right, we're on to the next. I guess our next may be trying to get the in-person networking event and schedule the second one. I think we already have the date. I just have to run it past you, make sure it's fine.
Okay, so we'll talk soon.
Yes. All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Great. Bye.